Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk. Tonight, we're talking about resetting your life, not pretending everything is perfect, not waiting for Monday, not waiting for a new month, not waiting for someone to come save you. I'm talking about a real reset, a mental reset, a life reset, a goal reset, a reset that helps you breathe again, then think clearly again, and move forward again. So if you know this is your season to reset, go ahead and type reset in the chat right now. And if you're joining me live, let me know where you're watching me from. Tonight is going to be real, honest, and practical. We're talking about goal setting, mental reset, and I'm also opening it up for chat, question and answer, Q&A. So if you been feeling overwhelmed, stuck, drained, unmotivated, confused, or like you need to start over in some area of your life, this conversation is for you. Let's get into it. I'm Latasha Scurry, your host for this evening. Okay? So I want to start here. A lot of people hear the word reset and immediately think something has gone wrong. They think, I've had to reset because I failed. I've had to reset because I'm behind. I've had to reset because I messed up. But I want to challenge that. Sometimes a reset is not a sign that your life is falling apart. Sometimes a reset isn't a sign that your life is trying to come back together in a healthier way. It really does mean that you're healthy, okay? So, what a reset really is, a reset is not failure. A reset is wisdom. A reset is what happens when you realize that the pace, the mindset, the habits, the pressure, or even the environment that you've been living in is no longer working for you. No longer. A reset is you being honest enough to say, something has to change. I've had plenty moments like that in my life where I had to say, something has to change. And what better time than now to make that change in your life? And I want somebody to hear this tonight. You are allowed to change direction. I'm going to say it once again. You are allowed to change directions. You're allowed to slow down. You're allowed to rethink your priorities. If you have to, take out a sheet of paper and list what your priorities are and then rank them. You are allowed to stop carrying what no longer belongs in your future. A lot of times we hold on to things from our past. We don't need those things. Um, we want to carry the burden by ourselves. We want to carry the burden alone, but we can't. We don't have to. A reset doesn't mean that you're weak. A reset means you are aware that something in your life is not going right. It means you're paying attention to your life. I'm going to say that again. It means that you're paying attention to your life. And some of us need to stop feeling guilty or needing to pause, breathe, and begin again. Throw away the guilt. Throw away the guilt. So if that speaks to you, type in the chat. I'm allowed to reset. I'm going to stop and wait for you to type in the chat right now. I am allowed to reset, because the biggest thing about us is that we think everything's supposed to be perfect all the time, or we're watching someone else and those people look like they have it together and we want to be like them. You got to set your own goals. You have to deal with your own goals. And I have allowed you, I stopped and paused for you to type, I, I'm allowed to reset. And I can tell you when my biggest reset in life came is when I had breast cancer. We'll talk about that a little later. But right now, I need you to do a mindset shift. Just shift. I'm going to say that one more, excuse me, I'm going to say that one more time because somebody needs to hear it with their whole heart. You are allowed to reset. You are allowed to stop forcing things. You're allowed to stop pretending you're okay when you're not. I'm going to say that one more time. You are allowed to stop pretending when you're okay when you're not. I'm going to say that for the last time. You're allowed to stop pretending you're okay when you're not. So, here again, in the chat, type, I'm allowed to reset. I'm allowed to reset. Okay? You're allowed to stop living in survival mode. Okay? And choose something healthier for yourself. You're allowed that. And if we focus in on ourselves and stop beating ourselves up when something doesn't go right, we can move forward in a healthy manner. And that's the biggest thing that I want us to focus on, that it's okay. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Debbie. Yes, it is so important to take time to reset. Save work. All right. It saves your work and marriage. It does. And I agree with you 100% because I found that the biggest turning point and reset in my life was when I had breast cancer. I had to refocus and find out the things that were most important because I allowed work to get in, and that was the only thing I was focused on. I had forgotten. Yes, yes, DeLacy, you are allowed to reset. I had to focus more on family. I was so driven in wanting to have a career, and I forgot about family. And guess who showed up for me when I had breast cancer? It was the family who showed up. And family wasn't always blood relatives, it was friend family, work family. You know this, DeLacy. You know the people and the times that when you felt like you were alone, who was there in your corner. But you don't have to bear this all by yourself. You are allowed to hit that reset button. Stop focusing on the things that don't matter. Stop looking at what other folks have, and be grateful for what is in your corner, what is there for you. And I say this wholeheartedly because a lot of times we forget to focus on us. We focus on everybody else. We focus on work. We focus on our children. And you know what? Our kids are going to be there. If we've done the right thing, our children are going to be there. So we cannot put everything into them either. We guide them and stop allowing them to suck all the life out of us because nobody's perfect. We're trying to make the perfect children, and they are happy while we're trying to make the perfect children. So stop, hit the reset button. Same, having my dad who has, yes, in your, I'm going to put this up on the screen. If you don't mind, give me a thumbs up before I put it on the screen, Deb, okay, or a smiley face or something. Yes, we must love ourselves. We must love ourselves. And if we don't love ourselves, how can we expect someone else to love us? That is the key. I had to wake up one morning and say, first love yourself, because I can this could be a whole nother show of how I spent year 0 to 38 not loving myself, trying to focus in on or make myself who I thought everybody wanted me to be. And it was I was living in misery. And I can take that from a young girl where I always thought, tried to create the perfect person based on what other people thought the perfect person was. And it wasn't until I was 38 years old that I realized that I can't continue to live like that. So what I want you to do for me right now, I'm going to ask you a few things, and I want you to type this in the chat. Please type this in the chat for me. Oh, okay, okay. Please type this in the chat for me. Um, and it says, what areas of your life need the biggest reset right now? If I had to ask you, if you had to really sit down and think about that question, what areas of your life need to have the biggest reset? Is it your mind? Is it your daily habits that you have that you need to reset and you know that they're no good for you? Is it your goals? How about your peace? That was a big one for me. Peace. What about your confidence? And what about your relationships? What, which one of those that you need to reset right now if you had to? Would it be your mind, your habits, your goals, your peace, your confidence, or your relationships? Just give me one word. Which one of those would you take and say, I have to reset this? I need to reset this right now in my life. And guys, and everyone who knows me, and if you don't know me, I am an educator for 30 years, but I'm also just a regular girl. Um, and I would say right now in my life, I would have to reset my relationships. Um, Once you become an empty nester, you realize that everything that you felt about your life comes to fruition. It comes in and it comes right now. So I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm going to pause and I'm going to say, if you had to reset something in your life right now, one of these three, please go ahead and type one of these words. Would it be your mind? Would you reset your habits, your goals, your peace, your confidence, or your relationships? In this stage in my life, I'm resetting my relationships. My relationship, number one, with God. Secondly, with my husband, because we're now empty nesters and we have each other. And everything that I didn't like about him or did like about him is right here before for. Same thing with me. Everything he did or didn't like is right here. And we have to be able to, because we've been focused on kids for so long, we forgot to focus on us and make sure that we were solid. So, relationships, number one. Relationships with my brothers, now that both parents are deceased, I feel that I need to take a different role with them because they are missing the matriarch of our family. Oh, a reset of your mind. That's a good one. You want to know why? Because we all faced with something in life. And a lot of times we're looking at it through the lens of, and the person who said mine right now, I know her personally, and she's going, and I know her struggles because we've had the same struggles. But what I know about her is her mind is strong. And to deal with some of the things that we have to deal with in life, we need to make sure that our mind is strong. And we need clarity, we need discipline, we need to be heard. So to focus on that mind, that's huge, because you have to do a big shift of what you, from what you used to do to something different. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So I am going to say to you, I'm not a clinical psychologist. I am just a person who has experienced a whole lot of negativity in life. If, but I've also experienced positive. If you need to seek counseling, don't hold it in. And not all the time. Now, if your best friend is your spouse, which I'm probably sure it is, yes, it is good to talk to that spouse. It is good to talk to family members, but you want an unbiased opinion as well. Seek counseling from somebody who's unbiased to help you clear your mind so that you can have that focus. And I thank God for my therapist, because whoo, got me out of some sticky situations that I put myself in. So I don't like confidence anymore. And I tell you, from years 0 to 38, I lacked confidence. I really and truly lacked confidence. But it took me to find myself to be able to have now confidence to walk into a room and not feel like everybody's staring at me, or if they are staring at me, I don't care. I really don't care. So I've done a mind shift change, and it's helping me realize that I need to focus on relationships. I've done I, the next one I would focus it on is habit change, because I really want to work on my wealth, my financial wealth. And it's not being rich. I'll never be rich. I know this, but I want to be more comfortable than what I am. So if we can continue to work on us in any form possible, make us better, I think you're on the right track. Work on your mind. And yours is a great segue into what I'm about to say now. Let's transition to a mental reset. You want to know why? Because we need it. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little parched here. And probably need some water, but we're going to keep this thing moving right now. We're going to keep it moving. So, now let's talk about the first place where real reset has to begin. And you're on the right track, DeLacy. You're on the right track. It's that it's that mind. It's in your mind that we need to hit the reset button. If you want to, go buy you one of those reset buttons from Target or Walmart or Amazon and hit that button and say, this morning I'm going to reset every morning. I'm going to reset every morning. And I bet you see a difference in your thinking, because whatever you think comes to fruition. So please speak it into existence, because you can change your planner. You can change your routines. You can write down new goals. You can buy a new notebook. You can even create a new vision board. But if you don't change your mind, and your mind is still full of fear, guilt, doubt, self doubt, pressure, mental clutter, it is very hard to sustain change. Oh boy, I'm going to say that one more time because you might not have heard me. If your mind is still full of fear, guilt, self doubt, pressure, and mental clutter, it's very hard to sustain change. Oh man, that felt good. I needed to get that out. And it's the one thing that keeps us from moving forward, because a mental reset starts with honesty, not with performance, not with pretending, not being fake. It is with honesty, not performing, not pretending. It's with honesty. You have to ask yourself, what have I been thinking that's keeping me stuck? What have I been thinking that's keeping me stuck? What story have I been repeating over and over and over and over again? What pressures have I been carrying? Those pressures, that's a good one, because most of the time those pressures are internal. We beat ourselves up. We beat ourselves up, and that's huge. Yes. Hi, Miss Deb. How you doing? You came in on the right point, because you're retired, and I know this. And a lot of times we have to hit the reset button. Your reset button is going to be different, because you're at a different point in your life that is now 100% all about you and not anyone else. So, what am I believing about myself that is making me feel powerless? That I need to hit a reset button. Because let me tell you something, not every thought deserves access to your peace. Just because you think something doesn't mean it is true. Just because you think something doesn't mean it is true. And we are harder on ourselves than anyone else. Okay? We apply pressure for no reason to ourselves. Just because you feel behind doesn't mean that you are behind. I'm going to say it again. Just because you feel you're behind, it doesn't mean that you're behind. What measuring stick are you using? Are you using the measuring stick to your neighbor or to your cousin who just won the lottery? None of that has anything to do with you. Remove that pressure. You're not powerless. You're not powerless. Just because you feel stuck doesn't mean you're stuck, or doesn't mean you're going to stay stuck forever. It doesn't mean that. And I'm here to tell you that I have affirmation for you. I have affirmation for each and every one of you. So, some of us are mentally exhausted because we're carrying old thoughts into a new season. And tonight might be the night that you decide to put some of those thoughts down. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to pause right here. And I want you to take a deep breath with me. Come on, take that deep breath. Let it out. Again, let it out. And I want to ask you a question. What thought have I been believing that is keeping me stuck? Here's the question I'm going to ask myself. What thought, y'all not going to believe this about me with a girl who has a lot of confidence. What thought have I been believing about myself that is keeping me stuck? Although I have confidence and can walk into the room that's exterior and not care about what anybody say about me, because yes, I have a big nose, who cares? That's physical stuff. Sometimes the mental process that I have says I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. And there are people in your surrounding that make you feel like you're not good enough. You're not good enough for that job promotion. You're not good enough for this guy. You're not good enough to have that. You're not good enough. And what I had to come to realize in the past couple of months, I am very good enough. I am very capable. I am very capable. And a lot of times we try to make others see us in the light that they want to see us. But I'm here to tell you, if you can't see me in my light, from the light that's shining with me, then you can't see me. I can't work any harder than I'm already working. And if you think I can, show me how. Okay? Just show me how. I have to put that scale that check every box to say that I have to live perfectly in your eyesight. I can't do that to myself anymore. I have all the confidence in the world, but in certain situations, I walk into the day and go, wake up in the morning and walk into my day saying I'm not good enough, and that's a mindset shift that I had to let go of. I have to let go of that. Type in the comment one word. What do you have to let go of? That's, I want to know. What do you feel like you have to let go of that's keeping you stuck? Just one word in the comment. Let me know. For some people, it's I'm too late. For some people, it's I'm not good enough. And that was me. For some people, it's I messed up too much. For some people, it's it's too hard to change now. But I want to speak against that tonight. You're not too late. You're not disqualified. You're not too broken to rebuild. You're not too tired to recover. And you're not too far gone to begin again. If you have to go buy your reset button or order a reset button from Amazon, have it show up to your house for Monday morning. When you wake up, whether you retire, getting up to go to a full job, getting a full-time job, getting up to go running on a jog, hit the reset button and say, I am capable before you do anything else. Because those words that you speak matter. Those words that you speak matter. If you want to learn how to do nails, hit the reset button, say, I'm going to find a nail shop or a school that is good enough for me. Oh, yes, Deb. You're telling yourself that you're not good enough, telling yourself you're not good enough. Tell yourself every morning when you wake up, I don't care if you're retired, I don't care if you're 102 years old, I am good enough. I am capable. If you don't want to hear I am good enough, because people say it all the time, say I am capable. When you wake up in the morning, every morning, hit the reset button, say I am capable, because you are. You're capable of doing any and everything you want in the manner that you want to do it, not to someone else's scale. We have to throw that out. We have to get that out of our mind that we are living on someone else's scales. Now, there are times when we have to live up to someone else's scale. But you have to decide that. You're the only person that can decide what scale that I am going to live by. But if you don't hit that reset button in your mind, I promise you, you're going to just continue to spin and spin and spin and spin. And I'm not going to let you do that. So, right now, I want to give you some affirmation. I want you to know this from me to you. You are not stuck. You are resetting today. You are not behind. You are becoming and you are learning the next steps. Okay. These are things that I want you to say out loud to yourself. I am not stuck. I am resetting. I am not behind. I am becoming. I am not lost. And I am now learning my next step. Okay. I want you to hear these words from me to you saying that you can do it. And you don't have to live up to anybody else's scale. What you have to do is tell yourself that you are 100% capable. Okay. And I want you to stop and type in the comments, yes, that part. Okay. If you're still with me, I need you to type in the comments, yes, that part. All right. I'm not going to keep you long. I'm here to tell you that we are here to change our mindset so that we can become better. All right. Now, goal setting. This is one that we have to really open our minds up in order to do this correctly. Okay. Now, once your mind starts to clear, your goals become easier to see. I tell my daughters, when you cry, you can't see through those tears, they cloud your judgment. So when you stop crying, wipe your tears, let's see clearer and move on. I told them that from day one. Yes, day one. All right, that part. And I tell my girls still to this day, you are allowed to cry, but once you finish crying, wipe the tears away so you can see clear and let's move on. All right. Now, once that mind is clear, you can see because when your mind is cluttered and everything feels heavy, everything feels urgent, everything feels confusing. But when you mentally reset, you realize some very important things that you don't need to fix your whole life tonight. You just need to get clear about your next steps right now. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to fix your whole life tonight. You just need to be clear about your next steps. Okay? That's it. Goal setting. So let's talk about goal setting after a reset. I want to make this very simple because one of the reasons people never move forward is because they try to do too much at once. I'm learning that. I'm learning that right now. I'm learning that we try to do too much at once, even on your job. Everybody likes to say multitasking. You can multitask all you want to and make a cluster of everything that's happening around you. You can. So stop trying to do too much. Everybody wants to reset everything in one day. Their whole routine, their whole body, their whole mindset, their whole career, their finances, their relationships. That's the one for me. Their habits, everything. And then they get overwhelmed because they're trying to reset everything all at once. So tonight, I want it to be simplified just for you. Here's what I want you to focus on. Here's what I want you to focus on. And hear me. Choose one area to focus, one focus area, and ask yourself, what matters most in this next season of my life? What matters most in the next season of my life? Not 10 things, not 20 things, one thing. Give me one thing in the chat that matters most in your life, whether you're watching this live right now or on replay later. You must type in that chat one thing, just one. Maybe your focus is peace. Maybe your focus is discipline. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's healing. Maybe it's purpose. Maybe it's consistency. But choose one. One, just one of those things, or one is something that I didn't even mention. If you're not going to put it in the chat, put it on a piece of paper. Find something. Take an ink pen and write it in your hand. I don't care. But set one realistic goal connected to your focus. So if my focus is going to be relationships, especially, yes, health and healing. That is a great one. That's a great one, Deb. That is it. I am speaking to you right now. I am focusing on relationships because I realize in an empty nest, everything that you did or didn't like about that person is amplified right now, tonight, today. And either you're going to work on making sure it's wonderful and solid, or you're going to give up. And I have no desire to give up, none whatsoever. I love my husband and I love my children, but it's my children's time to shine. I have put them up on the pedestal to wherever they need to be, giving them the proper foundation. And I want to love on my husband. I want to make sure he and I are solid going into the next 30, 40 chapters, years of our lives. He's my best friend right now, and I hope I'm his. But even best friends argue. And I want that relationship to be solid so that when anybody sees us, knows that it's real. It's real right now, but I want to make it even realer, girls and guys. I want to make it so tight that nothing happens, nothing tears that apart ever. All right. So set one realistic goal connected to that focus. And I'm going to tell you, one of my goals is we have date night every other week or date weekend. Let's just take off and go somewhere. Now, this weekend he has to work, but I've already started getting dressed for date nights because when I get off this air with you guys, we're going on date night. All right. So I just want to tell you, I'm focused on one relationship, but that's just one relationship. I have other relationships that I want to focus on. And I'm starting that season tonight. I'm starting that chapter. If your focus is peace, your goal might be I'm going to protect my mornings. I don't know. If your focus is discipline, your goal might be I'm going to keep one promise to myself every day. If your focus is health, your goal might be I'm going to move my body 4 times this week. I didn't say exercise, go out and take a jog. I said move your body. That could be standing in front of your TV doing line dance for 20 minutes just to make yourself feel good. Any exercise is exercise. Hi, Adam, how you doing? I'm enjoying my summer, honey. I am. But right now, I'm focusing on relationships. And the biggest relationship that I have is my husband. That's the relationship that I want to most focus on. If your focus is confidence, your goal might be I'm going to stop talking against myself. Simple, clear, realistic goals to complement your focus. Okay. So then I want you to commit to one immediate action. I want you to commit to one immediate action. not someday, not next month, not when you feel more ready. What is the one thing can you do tonight, tomorrow, or this week? That is where momentum begins. I'm going to say it one more time. What is one thing you can do tonight, tomorrow, or this week? That is where momentum begins. Not in complexity, not in pressure, in clarity and action. You have to be focused and you have to commit. And if you're not willing to commit to yourself, how are you going to ask somebody else to commit to you? That it doesn't even make any sense. You can't ask somebody else to commit if you can't commit to yourself. Get it? Now, I want to open this up for some live chat Q&A because I know resets look different for different people. Reset looks different for different people. And sometimes what stops us is not that we do not want change, it's that we feel overwhelmed about how to begin. And I'll tell you a little story. When you wake up at 38 years old and somebody tells you that you have breast cancer and you thought you were one of the healthiest persons on the planet, I had to hit the reset button. I had to rethink everything that I was doing in my life. I had to change, do a mindset shift because I was kind of mean. I used to be mean to people. I thought people who said stupid questions were just beneath me. You ask me a stupid question, I'm going to give you a stupid look and probably a stupid answer. But I had to realize that that person asked a question because they didn't know. And it wasn't my job to make them feel bad about it. So I had to stop doing that. I was confident, but I was arrogant. And I had to let that arrogance go because it held me back. It held me back from a lot of things in life. And I was arrogant from a young person because I always was confident in what I knew in the books. I wasn't always confident with this. So I tried to compensate with what up here to keep the focus off of this. Okay. Now, with my whole mindset shift, I'm good on confidence and I'm good on people. Okay. So if you have a question, drop it in the comment. Ask me anything. Ask me about confidence. Here's some things I want to throw out to you though. What has been making it hard for you to reset in your life? What's been hard for you to reset? Did you struggle more with clarity, consistency, or confidence? Which one of those are a struggle for you? Clarity, consistency, or confidence? If I had to say in my life, one things it would be clarity because I miss sometimes what people are trying to tell me. I miss the simple little things right there that I should have picked up on. So I miss clarity. I'm not always clear on how to go forward, how to go left, how to go right. I always end up going backwards, but sometimes going forward is very hard to do. What habits do you need? Do you know that you need to break? What are some habits that I need? One habit I need to do is stop trying to read my husband's mind and just let him talk to me. Just let him talk to me. How about ask him how his day was instead of telling him how his day was? See, that arrogance, it creeps back in there sometimes. It really does. So just being more clear also on what I want in life. Being clear to tell people it's okay to tell people how you feel. You don't have to be nasty about it. Just say, hey, right now I'm feeling about 10%. So if you give me about 20 minutes, I'll probably be back up to 90% and I can have a good conversation with you. That is a good segue into letting people know where you are at all times in your life. So pause and respond. If someone says that they feel that you feel stuck, I want you to speak to that. If someone says that they feel stuck, I want you to speak to that this week to that person. Feeling stuck often doesn't mean often means one or two things. Okay. Either something needs to be released or something needs to be clarified. Take that to your relationship. If you're feeling stuck, it means one or two things: that something needs to be released or something needs to be clarified. Ask yourself, what is draining my energy? What am I avoiding? And these are life questions for myself. What is draining my energy? What am I avoiding? What decisions have I been postponing, postponing? What decisions have I been postponing? Sometimes we're not actually stuck. We're just afraid of what the next steps require. But you can still move forward scared. You can still move uncertain. You can still move before you have it all figured out. If someone says they need discipline, say yes. And discipline matters. You need discipline on that football field. Tell them yes, you need discipline, and discipline matters. What I want to hear, what I want you to hear this: discipline is not about being intense every single day. Discipline is about keeping promises to yourself. It's about showing up in small ways consistently. The people who change their lives are not always the loudest people. Oh, that feels good. The people who change their lives are not always the loudest people. They're often the people who quietly decide, I'm going to keep showing up. If someone feels that they are overwhelmed, I understand that. When you're overwhelmed, stop trying to manage your whole future at one time. Come back to today. What is the next step? Not the whole staircase, just the next step. Overwhelm loses power when you get specific. If someone says they're afraid to start over, that fear is real. But staying in what no longer fits you costs more than beginning again. Woo! I'm going to say that one more time because that was powerful to me. Staying in what it no longer fits you costs more than beginning again. Staying in what no longer fits you costs more than beginning again. A reset is not a punishment, a reset is a gift. It is a chance to stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. Start living on purpose. That's your quote for this week. I want you to start living on purpose. Start living on purpose. I also I'm going to link in the description a reset button. I want you to wake up every morning and reset. Reset from yesterday. Think back. What did I didn't do well yesterday that I need to work on today? Either you carry it over or you throw it all out and get a new plan. But you got to have a plan. And it doesn't have to be a 20-year plan. Everybody says, oh, I got my next 20 years planned out. Lies, because you don't know what is going to happen in those 20 years that's going to knock you off your plan. As we get ready to close, I want to remind you of this: resetting your life doesn't require perfection. It requires honesty, it requires courage, it requires intention. You do not have to become a brand new person overnight. You just have to decide that you are no longer willing to stay in what is draining you, shrinking you, confusing you, or disconnecting you from who you are becoming. A reset is not the end of your story. A reset may be the beginning of your healthiest chapter yet. Final affirmation. I want to close with this affirmation. And if this is for you, I want you to type, I am resetting. I'm resetting. Type it. Repeat after me. I'm resetting my life with intention. I release what no longer serves me. I choose clarity, peace, and forward movement. I hope you're repeating after me. That's why I'm pausing. My next chapter begins now. My next chapter begins now. Also type, yes, that part. If tonight's conversation blessed you, encouraged you, or gave you clarity, type I'm resetting in the chat. Share this with somebody who needs it. And if you're rocking with Let's Talk, make sure you stay connected, because this is a space for real conversations, real growth, and real healing. Thank you for being here tonight. And remember, you're not stuck, you're resetting. Good night, everyone. I'm Latasha Scurry.